Today I fucked up by letting the cat get my wife pregnant. Today I fucked up by letting the cat get my wife pregnant. Technically this happened about 3 weeks ago since the test just came back positive. Some background. Last year my wife and I had our first child. It was a less than ideal pregnancy that had her dealing with weeks of bed rest due to preeclampsia with severe features. It wreaked total havoc on not only her physical health but her mental health as well. Fortunately everything was alright in the end and she gave birth to our healthy 4 pounds 2 ounces boy just shy of 2 months early, who's doing fantastic now. Due to the difficulty of this first pregnancy and concerns over COVID, we decided it was best to put off kid number 2 for at least a couple of years. She started birth control shortly after giving birth to be sure we had no surprises, but the pill tends to make her very sick and she wanted to lose weight, so she stopped taking it. We thought rubbers would be enough, but that's where our cat comes in. Our cat is an evil genius. I seriously think the greasy orange little shit is still smarter than our nearly 1-year-old. He gets into everything, and I do mean everything. No door, drawer, or cabinet can stop him, and if he knows where something he wants is he will find it. It's so bad that for weeks after adopting him I thought there was poltergeist in the house because each morning I'd wake up to find every single cabinet door in the kitchen wide open. So how did I fuck up and let him impregnate my wife? Well, my first fuck up was storing the condoms in the same drawer as the Q-tips, which he loves to get into and shred apart. He must have seen the box of Q-tips in the drawer when I put my rubbers away, because not even an hour later I stumbled upon a horrific scene of chewed plastic straws, shredded cotton fluff and shiny gold condom wrappers scattered around the gaping drawer that once contained them. I didn't think anything of it at the time and just cleaned up the destroyed Q-tips and put the condoms that had spilled everywhere back into their box without a concern in the world. We ended up having some sexy time later that night, and I vividly remember stumbling into the dark bathroom, opening said drawer, and blindly fumbling around in the box to pull out a condom, as was the routine, thinking nothing of what happened earlier. That is until fast forward a few weeks to just the other day, when my wife was complaining of nausea and tender breast. We immediately shoot each a concerned glance as this ain't our first rodeo, and she felt the same way before discovering her first pregnancy. She still had a half-empty box of tests from the year before and decided to take one just to be sure, followed by another one, and another one, all positive. We start tracking our brains wondering what happened when suddenly it hits me. That damned cat. I ran over to bathroom drawer where I kept the condoms, dumped out the box on the counter and started to inspect each miserable little foil square. Sure enough, several had noticeable scratches, teeth marks, and even full-blown punctures in them. Which leads me to fuck up number 2, not checking to see if the cat chewed on any of my rubbers weeks before when he had gotten into that drawer. Can't wait to explain to my new son or daughter one day that they owe their existence to the family cat. TL Drive. I didn't check to see if my cat had chewed on any of my condoms when he got into the drawer I kept them in. 3 weeks later, and despite our plans to the contrary, my wife is pregnant, presumably thanks to my asshole cat who gets into everything. I've been informed of something called the cat tax. Below you'll find a picture of the offending cat in all his greasy, orange glory. I think the picture sums up his personality well. This fucking title, man. I almost didn't want to read it, but I still got curious. So, this is my daughter Kitty. How cute. How did you come up with the name? I was thinking more along the lines of Tom if it's a boy, and Purina if it's a girl. Lamau. At least the kid gets a cool "how were you born" story, haha. You might want to buy safety locks for the drawers/cabinets to stop the cat. My cat is freaking smart and she used to do the same thing until we got the safety locks. Once she realized she couldn't open anything, she gave up. For the most part, cuz cat. Plus it might help with 2 little ones running around too. Today I fucked up by giving myself a hickey on my forehead with my GF dildo. This happened yesterday, but I will be living with the emotional scar for the rest of my life, and the physical scar for a few more days. As a late but generous birthday gift, I bought my girlfriend her first dildo, a whopping 8-incher. It arrived earlier in the day, before the time for appropriate shenanigans, so as soon as we opened it, we decided to proceed with some more SFW fun. We aren't peasants, so we got a suction dildo, so of course we did what any aristocrat would do and stuck it on any available surface. This started harmlessly with the furniture, the walls, and whatever other random objects were around. Soon enough, we got bored of that, and started exploring more exotic places, namely my forehead. With a good thwack, I stuck it loud and proud as a glorious silicone unicorn horn, and took some fun pictures for posterity. After a few minutes of good wholehearted laughter and enough dicking around, it was time to move on. What I failed to realize was that I might have stuck it a little too hard to my forehead, and it didn't come off with a quick tug. A few pulls later and my second penis was still gripped to my face. After enough work to make a plumber proud, I managed to yank it off. More laughs and we were done. Later, after my GF got a good look at my face, she paused and told me to look in a mirror. I came face to face with the consequences of my actions, the plunging of my forehead. The incredible suction paired with many tugs at the skin left a sizable bruise on my forehead, about the size of 2/4. I've spent today hiding away from my roommate, and leaving my hair down. I can never go outside again, lest my shame consumed me. Too long didn't read, stuck a dildo on my forehead and sucked my third eye open. Edit, unicorn in all its glory. The aftermath. Edit 2, I wish I was Tom Scott, but he has much nicer hair than I do. Red shirt is just a coincidence. Or is it? Nice going, dickhead. Tip, the way to detach a suction cup is to peel up the edge, which breaks the vacuum seal. We discovered this after trial and error. I was a fool to test the suck of the dildo. This time, the dick sucked you. Tom Scott. That was my first impression too. I'd call it a dickie. Today I fucked up by nearly killing myself by eating Red Lobster. It's one of the outright stupidest fucking things I've ever done, and hopefully the dumbest shit you'll read today. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, my friend and I were looking to get some dinner, and we decided that Red Lobster would be good. I don't really watch my diet like I should, and we hadn't been there in about a year, so we placed our order and went to pick it up curbside. Once we'd gotten it, we elected to eat in the car. I got lobster Alfredo, and it was delicious. Everything was fine and I went to bed a few hours later. I woke up suddenly at around 3 a.m., struggling desperately to breathe. I was hacking and choking, wheezing and coughing up thick yellowish liquid. I felt like I was going to die. A tiny light in my mind clicked on. This feels a lot like when I was in the ICU last winter. A second, dimmer light slowly warmed to a glow. I was in the ICU with atrial fibrillation with RVR, cardiomyopathy, pulmonary edema, and aspiration pneumonia. After a little while, as I got back to where I could breathe somewhat normally again, it still hurt and took a lot of effort. The third tiny light in my mind sputtered to life, and I finally remembered what should have been the most obvious fucking thing all along. I have congestive heart failure. My lobster Alfredo had like 5,000 milligrams of sodium in it. Sodium is a huge no-no for people with heart conditions. Too long didn't read, I totally didn't connect the dots and realize that my meal was exactly what I should not eat because it's loaded with salt and I have a serious heart condition. Also, other than the 3 or so days of chest pain, extremely dangerous, after it happened, I feel pretty normal. I have not been to the cardiologist yet, but I do have an appointment coming up. They take forever to get. This will be my third in like 7 months and the last one was only a phone call. Edit, those with knowledge tell me that the S doesn't mean that it's a small fuck up, it means it's a short post. Edit 2, thank you all for your kind and terrible words. Edit 3, Red Lobster is an American chain seafood restaurant. Edit 4, Arbangers has my consent to make a video involving this story. A small price to pay for salivation. At least the Alfredo was good. Why didn't you go to the ER? So scary and glad you are doing okay. American without insurance? Damn, glad you are doing alright. Is he though?